Hey, Coach Jesse here on stretching your lower legs, your calf, ankle, bottom of the feet, and the toes. Why are we going to stretch your toes out? All right, so it's the foundation for everything. Everything is above it, so it takes a beating. We got to take care of what we have supporting the rest of our body. If you've never stretched your ankles, well, you might be in for a big surprise. A couple things you might need here. Some supportive things, such as some yoga blocks or a foam roller. And you'll see why. So to stretch the top, what we're going to do is just sit down and point your toes. A couple pointers here. As you do this, you might find that your ankle's rolling in or out. And what you want to do is just line up your ankle, heel, and toe so it's in one straight line. As you sit down, it'll stay in the line that you want. 2, there's a space underneath my ankle, natural curve, and the stretch is we're trying to flatten it out onto the floor. Now there's a couple ways to make this, to regress this, and also to make this a little bit more advanced. If you're having trouble flattening that curve and you're not able to really get your body weight down, grab a couple yoga blocks, stick them between your heels, all right? And that will give you some support. And then as an added benefit, will also keep the ankles from rolling in together. Alternatively, if sitting here is a pretty easy stretch for you, you can sit back. One way to make this more advanced is to actually keep your heels down, your hips on your heels, and pull your knees up. But a more comfortable position is to use a block. And you can use these by placing them underneath your knees. And what that does is creates more space here so that you can stretch deeper. Alternatively, you can also take some blocks or your foam roller and place it behind you and place the top of your feet. Just the toes where the ball of your foot is, but on the other side, so your toes aren't actually slipping off. And again, you're just going to sit down here on your feet. So those are some 2 ways to advance this position. I'm going to keep these stretches short, so find the position that works best for you, and then we'll keep it short to 30 seconds. So into your position and breathe. So the clock is running here. Just check to make sure that your ankles are lined up. So if you need to manipulate with your hands, go for it. If you're having trouble sitting the hips down to the heels, well, take a deep breath. Exhale. Now we're almost there, so one more deep breath. Maybe lean back into it if you're leaning forward. Excellent. Okay, if you need to, shake them out. Next, we're going to do a single leg position. And the reason I like the single leg position is because if you find that you're having trouble lining your heel up with the rest of your ankle, well, single leg is the way to work this. Again, you can make this more advanced by using a block under your knee or under your toes. When we go into the single leg position, I'm going to move my left foot onto the floor, and I'm going to try to keep my heel seated, my hips right over my heel. Now, to line up, to keep my heel from rolling out, I'm just going to lift my hips and try to sit down the outer edge of my heel and roll the heel in as we're stretching. So let's begin this one. Find your position, advanced or beginner, and 3, 2, 1, let's go, 30 seconds. So I'm already in here, and I have my heel on the outer edge of, my hip on the outer edge of my heel, trying to roll it in. I can feel the floor right underneath from the shin all the way down to the toes, so I know that my ankle is flat. Yours might not be. You have 10 seconds left. And if this is tough for you, well, you got some work to do. So we're almost there. Final breath. Sit up tall. Sit into it. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to shake that ankle out. And we're going to do the other side. So I'll just pivot my body here. And then again, whenever we're doing the single joint, single leg, single arm stretches, you're going to find that one side might be tighter than the other. It's totally fine. Set yourself up in position if you're ready to go. So I'm on 30 seconds. Here we go. So I'm going to take my hip I'm just going to place on the outside of my heel. So if you're having trouble doing that, and you still want to push the heel in, you can also just take your hand and drive it inward. All right, and you're really going to feel that deep stretch on the line above the big toe, all the way up, possibly even into the to the shin. We have just a couple seconds left, so on these final breaths, take a deep breath. Line your body up, try to sit upright, no support, right, all of your body weight onto your heel, and you're done. Okay, so those were short, quick, 30 seconds in these videos. Now we're going to work into, instead of extending the ankle, into flexing it. So the most basic is we're going to bend the toes and drop the knees, sitting down right on your heels. Again, just like we did, just as a key point here, we really want to make sure that we're lining up. And if you find that your toes are pointing way out or way in, I need you to manipulate that with your hands or with your seat and get back into the position. So find the position that works best for you. If you need some support under your hips, put it between your ankles, and let's sit. Okay, 30 seconds on this one here. This one really hits the big toe, the big joints along those toes. Ooh. Stretching this really will help out. If you've ever experienced plantar fasciitis, this is the go-to stretch. A couple seconds left. If you're not yet sitting down on the hips, if you're leaning forward, go ahead and try to sit upright and down to the heels. And time. Good. We're going to relax those. And just like we did with the pointed toe, we're going to do a single leg position here. So flex your toes on the right side and then take a step. Now I'm not taking a giant step out, just enough where I can support my left arm. And let's begin. 30 seconds in this position. Now you might find yourself leaning forward. All right. Your job is to get that hip right onto the heel, to get the chest nice and high. There's just a few seconds left. Take a deep breath. Try to sit up, sit down, exhale, and good. That side is done. All right, got 10 tenths pretty quickly. Let's hit it to the other side. So flex the toes on my left side. Take a step with my right foot. Get in position. Sit your body weight onto the heel. And 30 seconds. Again, you might find the need to lean forward, but try to keep as much weight right on that hip through the heel and leaning up, sitting up as much as you can. We got 10 seconds left. Just a few more breaths. So on this last one, take a deep breath. Try to sit back, sit up. No extra support, and time. Okay. If you're feeling that more than just in the toes and the joints, if you're having trouble sitting the hip onto the heel, if you're feeling the bottom of your foot, that's going to be one that you're really going to want to spend a lot of time on. Now it's time to work on into the calf. Now the calf has two muscles, one that originates above the knee and one that originates below the knee, which is why we have to do two stretches to really effectively stretch the calf out. The bent knee stretch, love doing it from this position here. I'm going to stretch the right side first so you can really see. I'm going to move my right foot forward. Now, looking down, my left knee and my right toes are lined up. I'm not putting it forward like I'm trying to get into a lunge, but I'm pulling it back so that I can really drive the knee forward. To get a really effective stretch, I'm going to move my left knee out to the side so I have a nice wide base. And then while I'm trying to sit down on the right heel, I'm going to try to lean forward, pushing my right knee forward. Now there's a couple ways to do this. One, you can dive forward and just put your head down. You can see that I'm centering my chest over the knee. Try not to push into the ground. you'll lose all the weight, you'll lose the stretch. 2, you can also hug the knee as you lean forward. And 3, if you push hard into the knee, not the ground, but into the knee, you can also get a great stretch. So figure out which one, play around with it. 2, as we're doing that, I'm also pushing the heel down. Now there's space between my heel and the floor right now, but I'm trying to push the heel down as I push the knee forward, and ultimately you should be able to keep the heel down on the ground when you get really flexible and push your knee forward. How far, if you can measure this, well, would be 5 inches, all right? If you need to drop a ruler straight down from the knee, 5 inches from your toes, that is the optimal range of motion for the ankle. If you're not yet there, you got some work to do. All right, so let's find that position here. We're gonna do 30 seconds of the bent knee position, and let's go. So I'm gonna show you all the different positions here. Putting my head down, chest down, with my arms in the Superman position. Also giving my knee a hug. Or even just driving the knee forward as I sit my weight back onto the heel. With just a few seconds left, take a deep breath. Exhale, try to release that calf muscle. Good. Now, you might have noticed that you might not have felt that stretch too intensely when we first started, but it's one of those ones that the longer you stay in it, the more intense, the deeper you can really feel that stretch. There's a lot of connective tissue in the lower calf. So let's do the other side. Again, pulling the ankle back, pushing the knee to the side, and then let's find the best position for you, leaning, hugging, or pressing, and 30 seconds, let's go. Halfway there. Now you might be wondering, well, is this a stretch that you need? Well, if you're a runner, if you wear heels, if you're finding that this stretch is really difficult to do, then yes, it is definitely for you. Just a couple seconds left to go. So take a deep breath. As you exhale, just sink into it deeper, knowing that it's going to be done. Excellent. So that's your bent knee stretch. We have one more stretch to really effectively stretch the lower legs out, and that is a straight leg. And this is where the yoga block or foam roller or a step comes in very handy. And what we're going to do is we're going to stretch out the right calf muscle first. So I'm going to place the ball of my foot onto the block with the heel down on the floor. I'm going to keep my right knee totally straight. I'm going to keep my left knee bent as much as I need to. Already I'm feeling this stretch not only here in the calf, but also up into the hamstring. They're connected, so you're going to feel it. The more I lean forward, the more I press and extend my back leg, my left leg, the deeper it is I feel this. Now, if you have more than one foam roller, it gives you an effective support system if you can't yet reach the floor. Ultimately, we'll all be down on the floor touching, and then driving forward, leaning your upper body forward in front of your toes as much as you can. So again, find the position that works best for you. An effective step. Again, yoga block, maybe hands width apart. So a book, a step, anything you have. So let's get into position. 30 seconds on each side. I'm going to begin with my right side in a full extension, and here we go. So if you don't have anything to support your hands, go ahead and just place your hands onto your shin, your knees. And as we're stretching, we're trying to just drive your body forward by pressing your back leg into the ground and leaning forward, dropping your chest towards your shin, but also pressing your upper body forward over your toes. And with a couple seconds left, I'm really going to just try to extend the back leg as I lean forward and down. And time. Good. Was that longer than 30 seconds? Probably, but that's a bonus for you. All right, so let's find the other position. Again, we're doing right and left sides. You might find one side is looser than the other. So get into that comfortable position. Again, we're trying to keep the left leg straight as we support the toes up, heel down. And then let's begin. 30 seconds here. Or to keep it fair, 35. And using your breathing to try to relax not only the muscle itself, but the full body. And pressing through the back leg, trying to extend the leg out. Leaning down, leaning forward. Final breath here. Take a deep breath. As your exhale goes deep as you possibly can. And time. Okay, so those are definitely some of my favorite lower leg stretches. There's many more, but those are some ones that you can easily do at home with just a couple tools. And I showed you 30 seconds, but it is part of your daily exercise. Try to increase the time under tension from 30 seconds to a minute, and even up to 3 minutes. And which ones should you spend time on? Well, the ones that were giving you the most problems. So hope you enjoyed that and add it to your daily. I'll see you next time.